Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Let me get over here to the chat. Can you hear me? Hello, Rita. Thank you for coming. Oh, wow. Good afternoon, Rita. I never know where people are coming in, so I don't ask people where they're from and such because not everybody wants to give that information, so which I completely understand. Um, it is an AA meeting. It is public. I encourage people to feel free to be in the chat on my Facebook or my YouTube channel. But please know that I cannot delete uh, the live chat. I don't think, anyways. I don't know. But I'm just trying to save everybody from. If you don't want your name on there, then I completely understand. If you just want to hit like and comment, that's great. Or hit the like button and come back for the next videos. Because not all the videos I do here are AA. But the live stream on Fridays, because I had to change it due to work. The Friday meetings are AA. So please be respectful, no judgment, be kind to each other, and don't go harassing other people that are here. Just because they're in the chat doesn't mean that they are the recovered alcoholic or the alcoholic who still suffers. So don't think that they are. They could be here to support my channel, or they could be here to maybe learn ways to help a family member or a friend. So this meeting is not just for recovering alcoholics. Addicts can also use these meetings because we do pretty much the same things for meetings for both. So with that, just be mindful of each other and be kind. That's all I asked. But yeah, so I always put in the description what page we're on, what book we're reading, and we are back in the big book. As I say, it doesn't matter how many times you read these books, you always get something different. So I have 9 years and almost 8 months. So please, it works. You just have to want it and want it for you for the right reasons. And with that, but yeah, I always put in the description what book and page we are on. And so let's get on with this meeting. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So I would have people up on panel who feel like coming up, but for right now, I don't have that option available due to some Yahoo we got that I would bring them up. Okay, 12 steps. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. Sorry if you can hear the dog chewing his ball. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly ask Him to remove our shortcomings. Copper, enough. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends wherever possible. I skipped a few words. Make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continue to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Okay, so we are in the big book, and I was reading all the front pages, but I decided this morning I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to start off at Bill's story, chapter 1, page 1. War fever ran high in the New England town to which we knew young officers and from Plattsburgh were assigned, and we were flattered when the first citizen took us to their homes, making us feel heroic. Here was love, applause, war, moments sublime with intervals hilarious. I was part of life at last, and in the midst of the excitement, I discovered liquor. I forgot the strong warnings and the prejudice of my people concerning drink. In time, we sailed for over there. I was very lonely and again turned to alcohol. We landed in England. I visited Winchester Cathedral. Much moved, I wandered inside. My attention was caught by a doggerel on an old tombstone. Here lies a Hampshire grenadier who caught his death, drinking cold small beer. A good soldier is ne'er forgotten, whether he dieth by musket or by pot. Ominous warning, which I failed to heed. 22 and a veteran of foreign wars, I went home at last. I fancied myself a leader, for had not the men of my battery given me a special token of appreciation. My talent for leadership, I imagined, would place me at the head of vast enterprises which I would manage with the utmost assurance. I took a night law course and obtained employment as investigator for a security company. The drive for success was on. I proved to the world I was important. My work took me about Wall Street, and little by little I became interested in the market. Many people lost money, but some became very rich. Why not? I studied economics and business as well as law. Potential alcoholic that I was, I nearly failed my law course. At one of the finals, I was too drunk to think or write. So my drinking was not yet contagious or contagious. It disturbed my wife. We had long talks when I would still her for for bodying me, telling her that men of genus conceive their best project when drunk, that the most majestic constructions of philosophic thought were so derived. Hopefully I'm saying these right. By the time I had completed the course, I knew the law was not for me. Hey, stop. Enough. No more. Sorry about that, guys. The inviting maelstrom. Okay, wait. By the time I had completed the course, I knew the law was not for me. The inviting maelstrom of Wall Street had me in its grip. Business and financial leaders were my heroes. Out of this alloy of drink and speculation, I commenced to forge the weapon that one day would turn in its flight like a boomerang and all but cut me to ribbons. Living modestly, my wife and I saved $1,000. It went into certain securities, then cheap and rather unpopular. I rightly imagined that they would some day have a great rise. I failed to persuade my broker friends to send me out looking over factories and managements, but my wife and I decided to go anyway. I had developed a theory that most lost money and money in stocks through ignorance of markets. I discovered many more reasons later on. We gave up our positions and off we rode on a motorcycle, the sidecar stuffed with tents, blankets, a change of clothes, and 3 huge volumes of a financial reference service. I need to drink my soda. My last soda. Our friends thought of lunacy commission should be appointed. Perhaps they were right. I had had some success at speculation, so we had a little money, but we once worked on a farm for a month to avoid drawing on our small capital. That was the last honest manual labor on my part for many days. We covered the whole eastern United States in a year. At the end of it, my report to Wall Street procured procured me a position there and the use of a large expense account. The exercise of an opinion brought in more money, leaving us with a profit of several $1,000s for that year. For the next few years, fortune threw money and applause my way. I had arrived. My judgment and ideas were followed by many, to the tune of paper millions. er, Yeah, many to the tune of paper millions. The great boom of the late 20s was seething and swelling. Drink was taking an important and exhilarating part of my life. There was loud talk in the jazz place, uptown. Everyone spent in thousands and chattered in millions. Scoffers could scoff, and by damned I made a host of fair weather friends. I'm still sore from work, and I have to work on Sunday for another 50-hour week, or 40-hour a week, sorry. My drinking assured more serious prosperation yeah, proportions, continuing all day and almost every night. The remontants, rem, the remnants of my friends terminated in a row, and I become a lone wolf. There were many unhappy senses in our Patcho's apartment. There had been no real infidelity or loyalty to my wife, helped at times by extreme drunkenness, kept me out of those scrapes. In 1929, I contracted Gulf fever. We went at once to the country, my wife to applaud while I started out to overtake Water Hagen. Liquor caught up with me much faster than I came up behind Walter. I began to be jittery in the morning. Gulf permitted drinking every day and every night. It was fun for Jerome around the exclusive courts which had inspired such awe in me as a lad. I acquired the impeccable coat of tan one sees upon the well-to-do. The local banker watched me whirl fat checks in and out of his till with amused skepticism. Abruptly in October 1929, hell broke loose on the New York Stock Exchange. After one of those days of inferno, I wobbled from the hotel bar to a brokerage office. It was 8 o'clock, 5 hours after the market closed. The ticker still chattered. I was staring at an inch of the tape which bore the inscription XYZ-32. It had been 52 that morning. Lost my spot. I was finished, and so were many friends. The papers report men jumping to death from the towers of high finance. That disgusted me. I would not jump. I went back to the bar. My friends had dropped several million since 10 o'clock. So what? Tomorrow was another day. As I drank, the old fierce determination to win came back. Next morning, I telephoned a friend in Montreal. He had plenty of money left and thought I had better go to Canada. By the following spring, we were living in an accustomed style. I felt like Napoleon returning from Elba, though St. Helena for me. But drinking caught up with me again, and my generous friend had to let me go. This time, we stayed broke. We went to live with my wife's parents. I found a job, then lost it as the result of a brawl with a taxi driver. Mercifully, no one could guess that I was to have no real employment for 5 years, or hardly draw a sober breath. My wife began to work in a department store, coming home exhausted to find me drunk. I became an unwelcome hang-on at brokerage places. Ceased to be a luxury. It became a necessity. Bathtub gin, 2 bottles a day, and often three, got to be routine. Sometimes a small deal would net a few $100s, and I would pay my bills at the bars. And the Texan, don't eat it. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell in you guys' ears. Don't eat that. You got food in your bowl. Crazy dog. Where was I? This went on endlessly, and I began to waken very early in the morning, shaking violently. A tumbler full of gin, followed by half a dozen bottles of beer, would be required if I were to eat any breakfast. Nevertheless, I still thought I could control the situation, and there were periods of sobriety which renewed my wife's hope. Gradually things got worse. The house was taken over by the mortgage holder. My mother-in-law died. My wife and father-in-law became ill. Then I got a promising business opportunity. Stocks were at the low point of 1932, and I had somehow formed a group to buy. I was to share generously in the profits. Then I went on a prognosis bender, and the exchange or the chance vanished. Uh, I woke up. This had to be stopped. I saw I could not take so much as one drink. I was through forever. Before then, I had written lots of sweet promises, but my wife happily observed that this time I meant business, and so I did. Shortly after, I came home drunk. There had been no fight where had been my high resolve. I simply didn't know. It hadn't even come to mind. Someone had pushed a drink my way and I had taken it. Was I crazy? I began to wonder. For such an appalling lack of perspective seemed near being just that. I'm going to read this next paragraph and then be done reading. Renewing my resolve, I tried again. Some time passed, and confidence began to be replaced by cocksurance. I could laugh at the gin mills. Now I had what it takes. One day I walked into a cafe to telephone. In no time I was beating on the bar asking myself how it happened. As the whiskey rose to my head, I told myself I would manage better next time, but I might as well get good and drunk then. And I did. So, like this guy, like, I think it's Bill. Anyway, I I agree with that because I did that too. I didn't do AA the first time I quit drinking. I just quit. Um, but I thought, awesome, I could maybe go back and have a drink or whatever, and then, it'd be fine. I was wrong. Very, very, very wrong. Because what we don't understand is, yeah, it took us a while to get to where we were that alcoholic, drinking constantly, um, no stop, other than maybe a couple days here, a couple days there. We don't realize that just because it took us that long to get there the first time, it's not going to take that long the second time. You go back out and you go right to the bottom where you just came from. I mean, that's the full truth. Um, it's once you get the handle on things that you need to do for yourself to make your life what you want it and keep it that way, you got to work your program every day. Um, do it like it is the best choice, because it is the best choice for you to continue using your steps, going to meetings, talking to sponsors, share your story, all of it. Because let me tell you, I have not been to a meeting in almost a year. Yeah, almost a year. My sister's sobriety birthday will be a year, I believe. But you can do it. And I'm a living proof. And I'm not the only one. And knowing that myself, that I am not the only one that needs the help, that needed the help, that still uses the help to help me stay sober, it, it's a pretty good deal. You get a huge gift, and that is getting your life back on track. That is being who you are supposed to be and being sober and having a life that you don't have to worry about, Oh, where am I going to get the money for this drink? How am I going to get this drink? What am I going to do? I'm broke. I lost my home. All of that stuff is a vicious cycle. It never ends until you're ready to say, I am done. I am an alcoholic and I need help. That's what I had to do. It's not easy to do, but it's worth it. Very much so worth it. I thank God every day that I am sober. And I share my story with all of you. I don't come up here to judge people. I don't come up here to tell you you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. No, that's not my purpose. My purpose is to say there is help. I got the help and you can get the help. And I am here to help because you're not alone. You feel that way. I know I felt that way. I felt like, besides my sister, we did our benders together pretty much, and we'd always fight. We were obnoxious and rude and mean to each other while we were drinking. And we just kept doing it. And when I got sober without AA this time, I got sober 9.5 years ago. I started AA and I realized what the program was. And thanks to a friend of mine, thank goodness he came along. But I was able to get my sister to come and be sober with me. And she's coming up on 9 years next month. And I am so very proud of her. I am so proud of everyone that I have helped to be sober, even if it's your birthday is today. I am so proud for everyone that makes that choice to get sober, get help, share your story. It will help you because the longer you set in your self pity, the worse it's going to get. The more likely that you're not going to come off of the alcohol. Um, and it's just a slow, drawn out way to pass. And it's not worth it. Look at all that money you spend on that drink, and what could you do with that money that would be more enjoyable for you? And what about your family who's watching you struggle and wants nothing but better for you? You might think that they're the ones that don't want you or that left you behind, when in reality, you left them. And that's hard to take. It's hard to take to realize that. But that is the truth. 9 times out of 10, you're the one that made it that way. I'm not saying everybody, but most people. That is what they think, that their family gave up on them when no, their family is still there. Just waiting for you to make that choice to get sober and make your life better for yourself. I can't stress it enough. It is so worth it. So very much worth it. I've been I've had many happy days and many sad days. I've been upset. I've been irritated. I'm not perfect, but I'm sober. And I'm thankful for that. And I have AA to thank. I have the fellowship of AA to thank. I have my higher power to thank. And I have myself to thank for making that step every single day, that drink does not hold me back. I go forward and it stays back there. way back there. And I'm going to keep going forward and keep looking through that windshield because it, it's huge. You have huge things that you can accomplish and help others with their sobriety because the motto of AA is give that other person that free gift that you received for free. Now you know why I do this. That's why I do AA. I don't do it for people to come and look at me and say, oh, you're ugly and stuff like that. That just hurts my feelings. I do these meetings for the other person that really, truly wants to help. Just come and listen. I'm not saying I'm going to be the cure for you. I'm not going to be the one that makes you get sober. That's you. That's all on you. But I'm here to say it's possible. And that you just have to want it for the right reasons. And I've seen people fall off. Just in my 9 years of sobriety, I've seen people fall off. It's sad because some of them won't come back. They might be too ashamed because they went back out and drank. That does happen as well. And, we can't predict what everybody's way is going to be. That's their choice. We don't make them choose. They have to choose. They have to want it. And believe me, you're going to want what I got. A better life, sober. Being able to be around my friends and my family and be honest with my friends and my family. And I admitted the other day some more of my bad things when I was a teenager to my parents. And my dad's like, no, I don't want to hear it. And I was like, too bad, you're going to hear it anyway. So, I did make amends for those days back then when I was a kid. And I wasn't a kid. I was a teenager, a really rebellious teenager that wanted crap my way. And that was it, And I did stupid stuff. But we all do. We learn from it. And me telling my parents that the other day, it made me feel so much better because you don't have to hide that I took their change or that I snagged their cigarettes because they know. So, I mean, that's how it works is, make it your way. I can tell you, you'll be much happier being sober, even on the bad days. So, but with that, I think I have a dog that needs to go down, and him go ahead and kick him down and let him play with Miss Pippi. And hi, you have a good afternoon. Because I'm still sore from work, but I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. So, but let's go ahead and say our Serenity Prayer. I'll log off of Facebook and read you guys on YouTube, the daily reflection, and then I'll post it on my wall. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. See you guys later. I lost my tripod somewhere. I think it might be at my parents' house. So let's see. What do we have for today? Daily Reflector. June 14th. When the going gets rough. It is a design for living that works in rough going. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 15. When I came to AA, I realized that AA works wonderfully to help keep me sober, but could it work on real life problems? Not concerned with drinking, I had my doubts. After being sober for more than 2 years, I got my answer. I lost my job, developed physical problems, my diabetic father lost a leg, and someone I loved left me for another. And all of this happened during a 2-week period. Reality crashed in, yet AA was there to support, comfort, and strengthen me. The principles I had learned during my early days of sobriety became a mainstay of my life. For not only did I come through, but I never stopped being able to help newcomers. AA taught me not to be overwhelmed, but rather to accept and understand my life as it unfolds. And that speaks volumes. But anyways, guys, I love y'all. Have a wonderful day, and please stay sober. If you're needing help, please reach out. There's help everywhere. You need books. There's AA meetings everywhere. I think you might be able to get books from your local AA meetings. If not, I know that they sell them. I'm not sponsored or affiliated with Amazon, but they sell them there. The library has them. You can check them out. So yeah, there's books. All the books of AA are available. Um, if you really need the help, please don't forget to reach out. There is help. I love you guys, and stay sober and stay safe.